love as we bring our next poet to the stage, our National Beat Poet Laureate for Massachusetts. Put your hands together for Paul.
I love cats.
Oh, me too.
I'm going to read a poem about my dog that I wrote when I was 4. It's a little hard to read since I didn't learn how to write until I was 7. It's not about my dog, it's about me wanting a dog. The neighbors had a dog, and they hated dogs. This is when I learned that the world wasn't fair, which is old news. So I wrote this poem about being willing to sell my soul for a dog. When I had a spiritual awakening, it all became clear. I eat what lets me eat them. I accept the world being unfair. I didn't like it. I accepted it. And that's a lie. I just wanted this poem to sound Buddhist. I wanted the dog. I didn't want to be a Buddhist. I wanted the dog. And I love cats. You can't buy that. How much do you want for that? The earth isn't for sale. I'll give you $1. At $25, I was told there was a bargain. At $100, I was told I was lucky because other people paid $200. At $500, I was told it was a steal. At an auction, I bid $2,000.49, and I celebrated my buying as a victory. At $500,000, I was told I should appreciate the quality. At $1 million, I was told I had good taste. At $100 million, I was told I had privilege. At $1 billion, I was told I had power. At $1 trillion, I watched it burn. At $1 trillion, I watched it burn. And when the smoke cleared, it wasn't worth anything to anyone. I knew it from the beginning. There is no dollar amount. Why did I play along?
Feels awesome. We're going to show some love for our poet coming from Maryland. Show some love for Carlo Parcelli.
Right outside DC, I don't believe you realised that we actually talk East End Cockney and Idesville there. It's just an affectation I have for some of my work. I'd like to begin with a monologue. These monologues are called the Canaanite Gospel, or the Gospel according to Simon Cananaeus. And they're intended as a poke in the eye of Christianity. A good, hard, blinding, permanent poke in the eye. You got to remember that. The other thing you have to remember is they're done in East End Cockney. For some reason. The first one's Jesus Barabbas. We all know the story of Barabbas. Thumbs up, thumbs down. There's a real problem with that story. Jesus Barabbas, if you read Josephus and the other historians of the time, he had a real retinue, a serious group of revolutionaries. Now, he was a bandit and a thief because most messiahs were at that time. Yep. But why would Pilate release this real threat to his throne and let this twit Jesus go? It does, or be killed. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. And this is Jesus Barabbas talking about his escape from the Romans. In my gospel, the Romans are not that stupid. They tried to kill him, but he escaped. This is Jesus Barabbas. Jesus Nazarene or Jesus Barabbas, a choice trim. Difference between an ass and an avenging angel. The Nazarene a poulter, a pissant, and the crowd would all be back trimming track beards and slicing Kit Kat as soon as Pilato talked custom. Thumbs up! Thumbs up for Jesus Barabbas, true son of the Father. My peeps and so armed, bar armor of bloody Israel, Not no fucking Nazarene dilute, but pure schmear from set. Me blood spills accelerant, pardoned by the procurator with pointed seals of Roman daggers and common kit treachery. No dead sparrows or dead species, no faints and pretty thoughts against Roman gladi. While the boy broke to a few thistles and nails, the boy thinks dying's the hard part. Not a man among them, but the woman what found her nature among that chaff, and me struck 8 times and left her dead by the procurator's box. So you tell me you's the resurrect. No truck with Gamala's warrior cult neither, with their blood aspirations, what steals from those that were hard indentured to steal, and not just by private tutelage and pedigree, not slow to rob, being all robbed hereabouts. And not from no fortified home. My retinue collects beyond Solomon Lake, with the gobblers looking over their shoulder at a rising star like myself, like Saul once said, what more can he have but the kingdom? I'd sooner bow to a Gamala than to a Caesar. I bear me neck, but to go now and geld the better, bleed him out the thigh, that's a fate worthy of a Messiah, not this Nancy Dance Nazarene old shit. What puts no torch to temple or blind shoulder to stone, but in obscure fables destiny's postponed. Belief be the traitor to truth. Theories of heaven where there's but sky. As Pilato confirms, no more secure his throat from a dagger, lest the barber take it straight from me, strike the blow. So may the Antipas go the way of the Janaeus, and the Hellenes and Herodians upon a sea of blood, as they could this day sail on me wounds down. Heathen tutelaries lying in the temples as they stadiums and forums, base confounded with good. Caesarea Maritima, Caesarea Philippi, Caesarea Tergo. Herod leasing Cypriot copper from Rome, and the maritime monopoly in asphalt with Antony's copper bitch. All prosper as me people, just as we are. What cast out Saul is timely to me. Who to slay is 10,000s, and how to proceed. No bloody timeless fiction of goodwill when none's to ground, nor whose side of you like a painted gallery or horse pistol. But one father and nation saved, but one to die for, and many deaths to come. You can believe what you want about Jesus Barabbas, but if it's not hero, it's others' faults. What saw some greatness in him, and bore him aloft, bloodied and betrayed. That's what you're up against. These are the people you're up against.
Say, everybody put your hands together from Long Island. We have James Wagner. He's coming.
I was in a separate location, that's why it's a long walk.
All right.
A very long walk.
Right there.
I made it. Hi. So, yeah, I really like how this book came out, don't you?
Nice.
I do publishing poetry for a living, but I haven't seen very many books that look quite this good.
Nice.
And with so many people from so many different places too, so I'm really proud of it.
Yes.
Debbie did the cover though, so she deserves a applause for that. My first cell phone. I got my first cell phone when I was 13. Well, it wasn't really mine. My mom bought it for me to use. It was a crappy little phone, not a flip phone, pre-flip, prepaid with a 20-minute phone card. I got it when I was going on the 8th grade trip to Boston, which we still had back then before 9/11 got it canceled for a few years. It was in my backpack, never on. Heck, I didn't even know its number, and I didn't need to, because it wasn't meant to receive calls, but make them in case of an emergency. After the trip, I kept it just in case. It sat inside my backpack, except when I took it out to show my friends who were all jealous of me. Couldn't believe I had a cell phone. I got my first real cell phone when I was 16. One with an actual plan. 100 minutes a month. And if I went over those 100 minutes, I had to pay for it myself. So I made many calls free after 9 p.m. to make sure that I never had to pay that overage. Last week, when I stepped out for a late lunch at 3 o'clock at Mario's Pizzeria, the same one I've been going to since first grade when I was in Catholic school, 5 kids from my old school, 6th graders by the looks of their uniforms, were all sitting around a table near me. And while I was eating and flipping through one of my biographies of Benjamin Franklin, all of them were checking their recent test grades on their smartphones. I'm actually going to read one poem, actually it's not mine. This is actually from the book The Apprentice Poet, because Ernell was talking about the youth poetry that he does. And on Long Island we actually had a program where we were publishing poets from after-school poetry clubs. I was supposed to go to this workshop like twice just to, orient them and then hear their poems and put it in the book. But I went every single week after school for like 3 months because these kids were amazing. And it was the best part of my week. So this is by 9-year-old Paolo Greco. Everyone has a place in the world. The trees ask me, and the skies and the sea ask me, who am I? The grass asks me, and the sand and the rocks ask me, who am I? The wind tells me at nightfall, and the rain tells me, someone small, someone small, someone small, but a piece of it all. These 3rd and 5th graders, they're smarter than me, I go there mostly for inspiration. And one freaky thing about the Japanese poetry culture that I just find absolutely fascinating is they had this tradition called the Japanese death poem. And that's exactly what it sounds like, is that these people would basically, they'd be spending years working on their last poem, and Japanese poetry is usually like, 3, 4, 5 lines, it's really short, so they'd be spending all this time refining this thing, and then one day they'd announce, okay, I'm dying next Wednesday, so gather everybody around, we'll have a tea ceremony, I'll read my poem, and then I'm going to croak. And the freaky part is they would do exactly that. Like, there's a lot of records. We have most records from monks and monasteries because they had the following, but they would I don't really know if it's like they were really good at predicting or like they just had such a psychological power from their last poem that they just like willed themselves to die at that moment that they really did. We have some records of some of those poems. So this one is by a man named Arankai Doryu who died in 1278. We don't know the month. This is a translation, obviously. 30 years and more I worked to nullify myself. Now I leap the leap of death. The ground churns up. The skies spin round. Wow. And I'll read one more from them because these are short, so you can do that. Yakuo Tokuken, who died May 5th, 1320. We actually edit some exact sometimes, but not always. Records. My 6 and 70 years are through. I was not born, I am not dead. Clouds floating on the high, wide skies. The moon curves through its 1,000,000-mile course. Sometimes they would make a fart joke as their last poem, I kid you not. So look into that. Thank you.